Hi everybody, this is Catherine with Wake Your Health Up, and I'm here today to discuss a variation from the last salad dressing, strawberry lemon, and this one will be a strawberry lemon pear dressing. So it's only a 5-ingredient dressing, it's really easy to make, and it's super tasty. So if you're looking for some tips, if you're dieting or you're looking to eat healthier, I would suggest making sure that you have for lunch every day a salad, especially Monday through Friday. On the weekends, usually it's a little bit more difficult to have a salad if I'm out and about. Usually I'm riding my bike somewhere, so it's a little bit more difficult to have a salad. Sometimes it's monotonous. Oh, what can you do? Change your salad dressing. So I've kind of created my own dressings because a lot of the recipes out there, after my tongue cancer, I had radiation, so a lot of the vinegar is a little bit too harsh on my tongue. So I've been into making my own, so I want to share that recipe with you today. One of my tips for you is to always have fresh basil around. If you like basil, like me, it's nice to have it growing in your own house. So this is something I keep near my window, and I always have it available. I can add it to any recipe. It makes things a lot more fresh. Also, I'm growing a small basil plant in my office as well. So that's pretty cool to have that available while I'm at work. It's fresh and it tastes really nice. Next, whenever you're using ingredients, try to use organic whenever possible. Obviously, if you're going to bump up the fruits and veggies that you eat, you want to make sure you're not also increasing the toxins that you ingest. So do the best you can to make sure they're organic. And one other tip is whenever you're cooking something or preparing something, especially a salad, when you're preparing fruits and vegetables, you want to make sure you have good knives. So I can make a strong suggestion to get a Wurststoff. It's W-U with the umlaut S-T-H-O-F. It's made in Germany. This one's the Grand Prix. It is a 16 centimeter or 6 inch. Here, if you see my hand, it's from my thumb to my end of my pinky. It's about 6 inches, and it's a plastic handle, so it'll last a little bit longer. And the plastic handle is always a bit less expensive. And here you can see just a tip. You want the metal to go right into the handle here, and you want it to fit your hand quite nicely. I have a small hand, so it's a bit smaller knife. I have good control. And you can see, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the cheap knives, but you want to make sure you have a good knife, otherwise preparing foods will be miserable. So a good sharp knife. Then when you're cutting some smaller fruits and vegetables, here's the Wurststoff. This is a smaller one. This is only a 12 centimeter. You can see it in my hand. So much smaller, but very sharp, very easy to use. Especially good for slicing things that are fine. Also, we have serrated knives, which are really great. Like this one, I have one, I just sit it in my office at my desk, so when I want to have an apple, I can cut it up right at my desk. I can cut all different kinds of things. I use it for avocados, slice it in half. It's great. And this is Victorinox. This is a Swiss knife, and they're quite inexpensive. Actually, you can get different colors, but this has the rounded tip. There's also the shorter one with the pointed tip if you're looking to cut radishes, things like that. All kinds of fruits and vegetables. I kind of have one everywhere. I have one at home, I have one at work. So I always have them handy. If you don't have access to them, how are you supposed to eat healthy? So always make sure you have access to a good sharp knife. Which brings me to the next thing. Make sure you have a sharp knife, a knife sharpener. And especially for the big knives, you won't be able to sharpen the serrated knives with that. But for the big knives, I'll show you in another episode how to do this. But you basically want to make sure you have the good knife. Over time, it gets dull. You want to make sure you keep it sharp. So this one's quite sharp right now. I don't do it every time. Maybe every third or fourth time that I use it, I sharpen it. But The next tip is when you have your knives, you use them, do not put them in the dishwasher. You just spent a good amount of money for these knives. You want them to last. The water from the dishwasher hits the knives so much it dulls them a bit quicker. So I always wash all of my knives by hand. It takes 2 seconds, no big deal. And your knives will last much longer. It's a big investment, so why not keep them for longer? Okay, so let's start with the recipe. I've given you most of the tips I'm going to share with you today. So the recipe starts off with, again, organic, 2 cups of organic strawberries. I have 1 pear, which I already cut the seeds out, so I'm ready to go. I have a 1/4 cup of basil. This is going to make it taste really fresh. I love basil. And if you're like me and you like a little bit of zest in there, and plus, yeah, it just makes it taste great. I have a 1/2 of a lemon. So I squeezed the lemon juice. Actually, the first thing I did, here's my final tip for you. First thing I did was I took a lemon and I peeled it. So you can see this is pretty much white. So here's 1/2 of a lemon, which is already peeled. And this white part is called the pith. What you can do then is you squeeze the lemon, get all the juice out, and there's still going to be the inside of the lemon. So you want to peel that out, just like, and separate it from the pith. And so when you have the pith left over, you can save that and eat it, or you can chop it up and put it on a salad. It's not very sour. In fact, I really like it. But I learned that from some friends and some family in Italy. It's quite common for them to do that. So juice, and actually I kept kind of the meat from the lemon in there, because I'm going to put it all in the mixer and it's going to blend up quite nicely. And finally, the last ingredient, which we'll be putting in first, is 2 tablespoons of organic coconut oil. So we're going to start with that. 2 tablespoons, so there's 1. I'm going to put this right in the blender. And we're going to do this first because we want a little bit of heat. If we can heat the oil up, it will melt. Because right now, it's not very hot out. So since it's pretty much room temperature right now, it's at a solid state. If it were hotter, sometimes at room temperature it gets to be liquid, but right now it's not. So we want that to be melted. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this first. And I am using a Vitamix with a variable speed, which I've decided that if you want to live healthy, you have to have a high-speed mixer, period. It's expensive, but they last for, I've heard people say they last for about 10 years. So invest the money. It's an investment in your health. Think of your health insurance premium. Spend the money on this thing. So I'm going to start off low and we'll see how it goes. Scoop it off the edges here. It's gotten a little bit softer. Actually, since there's not a lot in there, I'm going to add the lemon. Again, that's a 1/2 a lemon. Well, and then now we're going to add the strawberries. Basil. And finally the pear. Now since you're putting it in a high-speed blender, you don't need to really cut them too small. Like I didn't even cut the strawberries. I just took the tops off. So here we go. Here. Basically what I'm doing here, my Vitamix, I'm going to gradually turn it up. And I'm going to use this to push it in. Oh, that smells good. Once you put all of the salad on your plate, it actually isn't that much food. So this is actually my salad bowl. I just put a ton, you can see it's pretty full. I put a ton of salad in there. I'm using rucola, one of my favorites. Very high nutritional density. And just a green leaf lettuce. So I have it mixed. Again, if you're going to be doing like a strawberry dressing, cashews go really well. This is unsalted, raw. And then I have these little flax seeds in there. Flax is good for metabolism. And I like the taste of them. You can also put the flax seeds, and if you want, you can do the cashews in here beforehand and make a bit of a powder out of them. The flax seeds are better, more easily digested when they're already chopped up in the mixer. So this thing is so fast that we'll actually make a flour or a powder out of whatever it is that you're mixing for the dry ingredients. So we're gonna, oh, it smells good. We're gonna pour this on here. And you can see it's quite liquidy. And then what I'm going to do, which I did on the last recipe, is I'm going to take one of my, here's a better one. I'm going to take one of my glass jars, which I keep, and have a lid here somewhere for it. And I'm going to actually keep this in the fridge for tomorrow. And then I have dressing for, as you can see, I'll have this for a few days. So it does last. It does last in the fridge for a while. And then you have it for a few days and you can mix up your dressing. So let's give it a shot. Ooh, that's a lot. I'm telling you, that coconut oil is really, it really just gives it an essence of almost like a tropical taste to it. Yep. And you can taste a hint of the pear, and of course that in the background is the basil. You can kind of taste that. So yeah, guten appetit, enjoy. Thanks for watching. If you like this, go below and do a thumbs up or subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos like this. Thanks a lot and have a good day.